we got to talk about it. We have a couple of mass shootings that have happened in the span of a couple of days from each other. The first one that really comes to mind is Deontay White. Wright, I'm sorry. He got killed by a police officer who thought they were grabbing for a taser and got grabbed their actual Glock and shot off and murdered him. He was what 20, had a little child, and this happened in Minneapolis, like literally like down the street from what the George Floyd thing happened. So it's almost like I don't know. It's almost like we're in a simulation or something. There's no way this should be still happening nowadays. But Moxie, you got anything you want to say about this?
I don't know. I don't know. I think it's such a deep rooted issue that the solution is not anything that we think is going to be. You know what I mean? I feel like, unfortunately, this is something that's going to continue to happen. But I just want everyone to still stay focused and protect themselves the best way that you can. You know, I understand in situations like these, the repetitiousness of it makes it very frustrating for a lot of people, and I can't tell anybody how to express their pain, but you know, we have to stay level headed. You know what I mean? We have to. I just want everybody to be strategic about the actions that they take from here out that they feel are going to move the needle to where we need it to be. You know, I just personally feel like this is something that's, I don't know. It's just it's crazy. The fact that it was so close to the George Floyd shooting. You know what I mean? The fact that the police officer was training another police officer when this happened. You know, it seems like it's such a systematic issue that it would really take a matter of having the whole system being revamped and revitalized and re-educated, retrained, have different subsects and of psychiatric and mental a mental health division to actually be able to make a change in this. You know what I mean? It's such a deep rooted and big issue that it's going to take more than protesting, I feel,
Yeah.
to really change
He
it.
says hard down. I'll turn it up. Go ahead. Go ahead,
Um.
yeah.
With that being said, I know you're a veteran, Chrono. How do you feel about the whole "I thought it was a taser" thing? Being
Um,
her being
be
like
on, be
a 29-year-old, being in the force for 29 years.
um. Let me say, guys. Um, it was hard because you're trained. Like even in the military, you're trained in such a way that you know what you're grabbing before you grab it. You know what I'm saying? And because so much of the police training is based off of military training, it comes off to me. Now I can only speak for me. I can't speak for what everybody else feels, but to me, it comes off as she's a little bit incompetent or she's a little bit heated and excited in the moment, not thinking about it. Um, but this whole situation, it's just I'm tired of seeing it. It's becoming
The norm.
the norm, and it's like media is posting it. It's all over social media. You keep hearing people cry about Black Lives Matter. You keep seeing these videos, and it's just like, when is it all going to change? You know, because the man did not deserve to lose his life. And for what I know, protocol is just to let him evade. It's just gonna be another charge. Let him evade. You already got his plates. Because you got to think he's jumping in the car. You don't know what could have happened. You know, and I understand her first instinct was to taser the man. But think about it like this: what if she would have tasered the man? He would have lost control anyway. He would have hit one of the cops, or he would have crashed on the side of the street, still killing himself. Then what then? I'm just over it, man. It's like I'm so desensitized to it that I really feel like it's just going to be another. Every time it pops up, it's just going to be like, well, here's another death. That's how I truly feel now, and I shouldn't feel this way, but it's just the honest truth.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that they stopped him for something that normally you wouldn't even need force to use. Like I understand like a plates being out of out of whack. And did he have a warrant or anything like that out for him?
He
So
did.
so so what
I
I
think
know. the situation, his plates were expired and they issued him a warrant, but they sent it to the wrong address, so he was never notified of the warrant. Here's the thing about situations like that: I've been in that exact same predicament
Yeah.
where, if you live in Michigan, particularly in Detroit, our insurance is extremely high. It's
Yep.
extremely
Shayla
expensive.
just spent $500 just on a down payment.
Yep.
So
And I've had to ride and work, and when I was working downtown with my tabs expired. You know
I've
what I
done it
mean?
before.
And I've had a situation where they actually sent me a citation about if I didn't come in and pay them, there would be a warrant issued for my arrest. So I've been in that exact same situation. What if it was a matter of, what if I didn't get it for some reason? You know what I mean? With my situation, they sent it to me and I saw the date on there. The date was probably like 2 days post from when I received it. So what if it was a situation where I couldn't get down there to handle it? What if it was a situation where I didn't have the money to be able to handle it? I would have had a warrant out for my arrest as well. It's a
Yeah.
fucked up system. And that's what I mean when I say it seems like it's something that's very systematic, because that right there shouldn't be even something where you can have a gun pulled on you for. It's a traffic infringement. Why are all cops just a blanket type of a force where you're using the same force to arrest somebody, who's doing a violent crime versus someone who ran a red light?
well, okay.
Did
So
y'all?
I hate to play defensive or devil's advocate. The gun, I will give the cop this. This is the only thing I'll give the cop. When she reached supposedly for the taser, dude was already jumping in the car. He's like jumping in the car, getting away. It looked like a normal traffic stop. Dude was jumping in the car and getting away. The problem I have is you don't know the difference between taser and firearm. And the thing is, police have it to a certain side for that reason.
Yep.
They literally have it holstered on two different sides for that reason. So
Your gun's supposed to be on your dominant arm, and your taser is supposed to be on your less dominant
less
arm.
dominant.
So if
Yeah.
you're right-handed, your gun should be on your right hand.
It- sa- Same with the military. Your rifle is on wherever your dominant arm is, and then if you have a pistol, it's on your less dominant arm because it's faster to get off. So same concept. So when she reached for it, it's like she reached back, said taser, taser, and then shot. I don't know if it was one or two. The video is hard to watch, but she even said like when he pulled off, she's like, "I think I just shot him. I shot him."
Not to
So
mention, like the taser, like not for nothing, is like a bright color most of the time, aren't they? Like,
you
It's
could
like
tell
yellow or bright
how she
orange.
pulled it out. You could tell she wasn't looking. It was like instant. It's like taser, taser, bah. So that's where everybody's mad because people like you don't know the difference between the taser. I'm not mad that I'm more mad that you don't know the difference between your less dominant and dominant arm because that's literally police protocol.
yeah. I've said it once and I'm gonna say it again. It's too easy to become a cop. Like, in 6 months, it's not
Oh
enough
yeah.
training to become a cop. I'm sorry if and I have police chiefs in my family, but
Yeah. My sister is a police
They don't
officer.
maintain the training
exactly.
like military do. Even I was an admin in the military. I was an admin in the Marines. So I did administrative work and we still trained like we was going to war
Well,
every single day.
from what I
Like
know,
As long
police
as you
officers,
active, you should be training. To be honest with you.
yeah. From what I know, police officers, you get physical training, but you don't get any mental training. You don't get any training on no social training on how to interact and talk to people in the community that you're policing. You have nothing to relate to these people, so you're just looking at them like they're animals. You're just looking at them like they're
and
criminals. You're
that's
looking at them like
training
they're
that
a
should be
problem.
consistent. That's training should be consistent throughout the
And
time.
not for
Like
nothing, Moxie. Speaking as a bigger dude, so I can say this. It's too many fat cops for it to be that much physical training.
Yeah, because it's not maintained. Like I was just talking about, it's not something
not
that has to be
maintained. Once you a
maintained.
cop, you a cop. It don't matter.
Yeah. I done did it. I don't have to keep this shit up.
Right.
I'm just if I need to apprehend somebody, I'm just gonna pull my gun out.
More heavy news. There was a Chicago shooting of a 13-year-old. The body cam finally got released. Apparently, this happened about a month ago. Um, Details of it: Eric Stillman, is the cop, is ended up killing a 13-year-old boy who was out at 2 o'clock in the morning. The video is very, very, very hard to watch. Speaking as a parent who has a 10-year-old, is very hard to watch. But apparently, he said, "Put your hands up." Some people say they see the little boy throwing a gun down, but his hands were up, and not even 2 seconds after he said, "Put your hands up," he shoots him in the chest, and you can literally see the boy die on video. It's very hard to watch. I recommend if you're not very if you're squeamish or soft hearted, do not watch that video. It's a lot of different things going around. Or why was he out at 13 and 2 o'clock in the morning? Or why did he have a gun? If he had a gun, I don't know if that's been verified yet, but
I don't think it's been confirmed 100%.
Don't matter to me though. He didn't deserve
Yeah.
to die for that.
true.
For any of that.
13 is that's just ridiculous.
So-
and we all know how Chicago get down when they want to riot and stuff like that. So far, it's been peaceful, but I don't know.
It's been some lootings. It's been some lootings. No, that was Minnesota. I'm tripping. I'm sorry. Chicago's been peaceful.
So far.
Which I'm shocked.
Yeah.
You know, O Block come out the gates, literally.
You forever starting some mess with Chicago, bro. I swear.
Literally, they come out the gates. But all jokes aside, look, because I'm on stream too. I don't like being too political, because it's, to me, change ain't gonna happen until something severe happens, and then what was the point? That's how I look at it. Like, stuff don't change until something severe happens, or it gets to a point to where random people, and I'm not wishing this on nobody. So don't say Nappy wish this. Nothing gonna happen till people start really attacking police. And then it's gonna be it's us versus them situation.
Listen.
And it's gonna become sad. And I'm gonna look at it, I'm gonna like, bro, this shit didn't have to come down to this, bro. All we had to do was look at, okay, even if there's a couple of bad apples, you have to keep questioning when people say it's only a couple of bad apples. Well, if bad apples keep growing off these trees, then we need to get to the root of the problem, because there's something wrong in them roots. That's a couple of bad apples.
I mean,
But that's
there's
it.
a perfect
That's
analogy
it.
for that. Like, if you have a moldy slice of bread in the pack, do you throw the whole pack away or do you pick it out? You throw the whole pack away.
I throw the whole pack away.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what I mean when I say it's
And
so
I'm
systematic. We have to look at the origins of what policing is. It was about slave catching. So when you have something that's grown from those type of roots, you know, which is branching off into a systematic system, it's not even just the police office, the policing. It's our judicial system. It's our prison system. It's a lot that's culminating and adding to this. It's the fact that these neighborhoods are impoverished and they don't have the proper resources in the first part, where they feel the need to have to do crime to survive. These people aren't just doing this shit because, I mean, some are, but the bulk of these crimes are being done as a means to survive.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many issues and so many levels of this cake that it's not even a matter of you just fixing one thing. Because even if you get to a point where you're fixing you're starting to get cops who are more knowledgeable about the communities, there are still going to be those issues in the communities that are causing people to do these crimes in the first place.
Now we got to research what's going on with that. It's a lot. It's a lot.
What's going on with that? Ain't no
I know what it
is.
is. I know what it is. Like, as a person from Detroit, I know exactly what it is. Like, bro, like I said, picture coming home, walking home every day and feel like you got to fight everybody that walks up the block every single day. And Moxie has witnessed this, me getting into fights every other day just because I'm walking up the street and I don't want to be in the game. Like,
that's that mentality.
That's
and
that
a lot
mentality.
of the times you just get into it because you don't know anything else. You don't have these type of positive father figures or even just these other type of outlets to be able to do something else.
Like, literally, if it wasn't for gaming, I'd be in the game right now. If it wasn't for gaming, if it wasn't, I sat in the house, I played basketball and I gamed, and I was out there just doing stuff. Yeah, poker, man, it's just the truth, man. Like, it's just hard, and we as people need to figure that out too. Like, it's on all of us. We can't, as people, we can't sit here and just keep waiting for the government to change some shit. It's
Yeah,
not going to happen. It's
but you
not. They
see
don't want
when,
to. They
but
don't want
when
to.
you see when we have an organization like that, the Black Panthers were that they didn't wait for the government to hand anything out. They did it themselves. They created these free
Programs.
lunch programs
Hmm.
themselves. You know what I mean? They policed themselves. They got to a point where they came together as a fortified unit, and they said y'all don't need to be in here. We don't need y'all police officers because we have it. We got it. You know what I mean? And there needs to be more of that. But unfortunately, I do not feel like there are enough people with that type of mindset in order to start another organization like that. I really do feel like we're in a day and age where everybody is focused on themselves.
Everybody keep thinking the Black Panthers will like kill police. It's like
No,
you're automatically going to have radicals in any groups. Black Lives Matter have radicals,
all
and
subsects
like
and units have radicals.
yeah, like
Yep.
half radicals. But most for the most part, people are just like, no, we're policing our. It's the same thing they tell you in the military: police your own because you don't want to get to a point to where somebody has to police you. And that's just the honest truth. Like we can make the hey Lisa, we can make the world so easier if we just learn to police our
There
own. Then we
goes my
won't have situations.
baby.
We won't have this situation where people need to police us. Therefore, we won't have situations like this happen. And that's just the cold hard truth. A lot
Because
of
a lot
people
of
ain't
the
gonna
stuff could
hear
be
it.
handled in
Yeah.
house. Like a lot of we're not really at a point anymore where people are. If something happened to the old lady down the street, where a
The
group of
street
the
coming,
dudes
yeah.
and the neighborhood, right? You know what I mean? We
The
don't
street
have that.
coming.
The
And it's
street
like
coming to protect these people and to correct this. We got OGs who's seeing what's wrong and they're making sure that things are tight in the neighborhood. Codes of conduct. People don't really have any grace, and people don't really have any, like I said, I don't want to say morals, but you don't really have any morals. This is a very selfish generation that we're in now. Me over you, and it's just
like even it's like you got two subsets. You got the old heads that try. You got the young people that don't want to listen. You got the old heads that's hating, and you got the young heads that's over here trying to get people to be like the old heads. So it's like there's no true leadership, and nobody's willing to sit down and be that leader. It's too
yeah.
many people trying to be leaders, but you got people like Derek Jackson that they try to walk that walk and talk that talk and be lying the whole way around. So it's like, what more can you do?
Fraudulent. Mr.
Like,
Fraudulent
a
ass.
lot of fraud leaders out here, bro. And
Because
I
people
try
doing
just
it
to
for the
be,
wrong reason nowadays. People are
bro,
doing it for the clout instead of actually
Social media.
the
exactly. I'm
actual
like,
Doing that
I
shit for the
got,
likes and the clicks. It's not
and
really coming from a
listen,
good place.
y'all. I have literally 7 nephews and 2 nieces. I don't want to wake up and see something happen to any of my nephews like this. So I try to teach them, yep, clout is crazy, man. You right, poker. But I don't want to ever wake up and hear something happen to my nephew like this. And cause my thing, I ain't going to the media. I ain't going to the money. You know, I'm gonna sit and grieve because I feel like as an uncle, I felt my nieces and nephews because I felt like I didn't prepare them for the situations that could happen. And this is something that we need to do. These are situations that could happen.
Yep.
I like that's just the cold hard truth. I understand people, Black Lives Matter, stop Asian hate, but we have to prepare our children for these situations because if they don't know these situations as well, it could be a hashtag. But what are you really teaching? You know, what are you really teaching? They're seeing it from the news and then they're not informed of what could happen, so they're not knowing how to react. Because the cold hard truth, and this is the story we can end on this because I know it's dragging on a little bit.
Yeah.
But I never forget getting pulled over in Ohio for impeding traffic. And if I didn't have my military ID at the time, I would have got arrested because they were trying to say we had drugs in the car and everything. I never forget. I had tears in my eyes. I'm 22 with tears in my eyes, freaking out. My dad looked at me and said, "No, don't ever show fear because when you show fear, they're gonna look at you like you did something, even if you in your heart you know you didn't do anything. So don't show fear. Do what the police officer says. Be nice when they see they ain't got nothing on you.
They're gonna
Kindly
have to
ask for
let you
that man
go.
badge number.
I,
Yeah,
I
you gotta
want
let
to,
you go. Ask for the badge number. Do it the correct way. Don't
yes.
act out. Don't do nothing. Like
I want to add something to that, and this would be a good final closing because you're absolutely right. You have to know how to handle these situations the
Yep.
right way.
You
I have a
showing any
friend.
type
Shout
of
out to
emotions, it's literally that's it.
And it's not only a matter of not showing any type of false emotions, but it's about educating yourself and knowing your rights. You know, you guys do know I used to do a podcast with a guy named Chris Louis, and he was very educated on the laws of the land. You know what I mean? His Fourth Amendment right. He knew how to be able to get legally to be able to get tickets thrown out, you know, because a lot of the stuff that we're getting pulled over for and apprehended for are not crimes. Traffic infringements and stuff like that, they're not crimes. We all need to be able to sit down, put your phone down, take it off of Instagram, or even if it's a matter of having or some of you who have the education and the legal wherewithal to go on TikTok and make these short little videos so that people have this information. Because a lot of the times when you know what you're talking about, they can't do shit anyway. A lot of the times you can talk yourself hands on the wheel. You can use your brain as that weapon to combat that and get out. It's gonna take a little time, but if I feel like if we educate ourselves on what's really happening and we know our Fourth Amendment rights, we know our rights that we are as Americans we're born with. You know, we know how to diffuse these situations because they're not going to diffuse them. So we need to know how to talk ourselves out of these situations and educate ourselves on the things that they are counting on that we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
All
I
right.
got chat blew up for a minute. I turn around and look, but yeah.
I was gonna say something about y'all. Want to talk about the FedEx thing too before we get into the actual podcast?
We might as well.
Yeah.
Might as well.
All right.
You
It's
right, bro.
important.
It's a strange thing, man.
Let's see. There was a 19-year-old former employee at a FedEx place. I want to say this was. Let's see. Where was this at? This happened in March. I want to say this is Indianapolis. FedEx place. He came in with an AR and shot around, and 8 people are dead. Because I don't know exactly what was the motive, and a lot of people said he seemed kind of off when he was working there. But yet again, another violent massacre that could have been avoided in America. Childish Gambino said it best: "This is America." It's sad, and to be honest with you, I'm like Chrono just said, I'm just numb to it at this point. I don't even know what to say.
And that's terrible. I mean, I never, honestly, I don't watch any of it. I don't want to watch the videos because I don't want to become desensitized to
Yeah, I
watching people
don't.
be murdered. Like, I just
Yep.
can't. It don't sit right. I feel differently, and like I just feel and experience emotions differently than a lot of people, and I can't let that rest on my spirit at all. Like, I
Yeah.
can't have that. And the fact that it's
I,
just so easy to share murder. This is pretty much back in the day. This used to be called like snuff film, shit like that. People being murdered on camera and shit. Like it was something that you could only find in the black market and shit. Now
On
it's
the
just
black
passing
web
around
and
on
stuff like
social
yeah.
media. Yeah, the black web. You know what I mean? The dark web and shit.
The
That
fact that
was
you can
where
see
you would
somebody
go
get
to
their
see
head
shit
cut
like
off on
that.
Facebook is just
Like it's
I'm, I'm
nothing.
I'm tired of it, and people keep saying, "Well, you gotta see it." The problem. No, I don't.
You don't.
I'm
You
tired of
don't.
it,
We
bro.
didn't
Like
always have to.
I'm
And I
speaking from.
think
Go ahead, Moxie. Go ahead.
I just want to tie this in because I think that the issue at hand here with what just happened with FedEx, you know, the gentleman there, they said to themselves they felt like there was something off with him. What do you think watching these videos and sitting scrolling watching death and shit on social media is doing to our brains? It's desensitizing us to violence.
hmm
This
Listen,
is an issue of mental health.
listen.
Like,
I am a person that really, I literally talked to LaShayla because she really thinks I should get counseling because I am a person that
do it.
AK know the story. Like I literally seen my godmother laid out on the ground with a bullet in her head.
yeah.
That's
So
trauma. You
yeah,
need
that's
to, you
trauma.
know,
So
you
it's
need, and you
like,
have situations in your past and your upbringing. We
hmm
always have conversations about how you had to fight and fight and fight. You had to use violence as a means to, you know, you've always
yeah,
been on the defense, which it explains a lot about who you are. We all
yeah,
know Nappy, you know what I mean, and it explains about how you will handle
yeah.
conflict and what will trigger you. You know,
Yeah, so
if
it's
you can
like,
afford it, if they offer it to you as a veteran, please take advantage of it.
oh, no doubt. But I'm a person like we're seeing this, and people are definitely like, oh, we're not sensitized. You know, this isn't that bad. It's bad, bro.
terrible.
It's like I'm tired of seeing it. I was tired of seeing it that day. Now I can't turn on Twitter without seeing some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and
Just
it's
last
like
week we
I'm
had just
tired.
those
Like,
three things happen within the span of a week.
with this span of a day, a day. Like everything happened within a day's time. Like literally, we seen the two killings, and then the very next day was the FedEx killing. So it's like I'm tired of it. I'm literally, if I wasn't streaming
Not
or
to mention the shit that happened in Georgia last week.
yeah, if I wasn't streaming or doing YouTube, I wouldn't even be on social media anymore because I'm just tired of it. You know what I'm saying? Like
But
I
we
have
do the
to,
same thing that we always do. Damn, that's fucked up. Until the next
yeah,
one rolls around.
And keep scrolling.
strolling, and then you go, and then people arguing with each other on Twitter. Like, what's the argument?
It's too much.
I had a whole argument with a guy today talking about some gun control. Like, who cares? The point of the matter is, I don't care if you have your weapon. I don't care. No, you deserve. You're right. You deserve to protect your home. But to sit here and say they're trying to stop your constitutional rights because they're asking for mental health checks. You're the person that needs to
Literally,
get them in. Like, yo,
we
like, come
all
on,
are subject to some type of trauma in this thing called life.
Yep. That's just called being human.
Yep.
It's called being
All
human.
of us have some type of a mental issue. We all have something. And then, like I said, the fact that we are all so subject to just being able to watch somebody lose their life on camera repeatedly, that's traumatic. That's trauma in its own. And it's so funny to me that we're in this age of mental health. You know, pay attention to your mental health. We got all these celebrities telling us to pay attention to our mental health.
Nobody's doing it.
I don't really see, because can't nobody fucking afford it.
Pretty true.
Facts.
It's all
But-
good and dandy to say it, but can you afford it? Are y'all coming out with organizations and type of funding for people to get therapy? That shit ain't cheap.
Right.
Facts.